Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 25 of Walking with Jay. Well, it's a nice and cool evening tonight. I think that I might get some rain showers here, which is fine. It's okay. I'm not sugar. I won't melt. That's what my mom always used to tell me. Good thing I'm not sugar. Although with my blood sugar levels being as high as they are, I am mostly sugar. And I'm a pretty sweet guy too, so I don't know what you were talking about, Mom, but I think some of those points you had were debatable there. So, yeah, today is a very cloud-covered day, which is fine. If it starts raining on me, I'll just put the phone up and head on home. But since I already walked for probably about 40 minutes today at work, 30 minutes with one of my clients, and then another 10 minutes with another, and so already got a lot of walking in today, so this is all just gravy. Anyway, so I want to continue to do it because I'm committed to vlogging every single day to make sure that I can chart my progress kind of, and also people who I care about and who care about me and love me can check in and see how I'm doing on a day-to-day basis if they so desire. And so that's what my plan is today, is just to check in, say I'm feeling pretty well. I wrote a blog post earlier today, and the title of that blog post was dealing with disappointment. And disappointment is something I think that comes to everybody in life, and anytime you've got your heart set on something, or you've got an ideal of how you'd like something to happen and it doesn't happen, you set yourself up for disappointment. And that makes me think about something that I learned a long time ago when Stacy and I went to a group called Marriage Encounters, and it was not residential, but it was a program. It was just basically a marriage, what would you call it? I don't know. It was not really a support group, but it was a retreat. Yeah, marriage retreat is what it was. Not retreat from marriage, but a retreat. And anyway, it was run by the Catholic Church, and or it wasn't run by the Catholic Church, but it was affiliated somehow with the Catholic Church. My sisters are all Catholic, and my sister Anna was the one who sponsored us to go to this retreat. It was kind of relatively, I guess, early in our marriage. So, but back to the point, one of the things that they brought up was talking about emotions and feelings, and how feelings are neither good nor bad. You can't say, well, you can, we do say that, oh, that's a bad feeling or that's a good feeling, but what they're trying to say is they just are. Feelings just are, and to label them as bad or good kind of sells them short of what they really are. And so I've always kind of kept that in mind, thinking that anger, yeah, that's got to be a bad feeling, or frustration, that has to be a bad feeling, right? Or, betrayal, how's that? I feel betrayed. That's got to be a bad feeling, right? Well, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what they were saying is don't label them as bad or good. Just try to define them and describe them for what they are. And so they tried to teach methods for sharing your emotions with your spouse, and being able to define, use more descriptive language rather than just bad or good. So, what led me down this rabbit trail? Let me try to trace it back a little bit. Just disappointment, the feeling of disappointment. And why did I have that feeling today? Well, I woke up this morning pretty stoked to check out what my blood sugar readings were, because I've been dieting pretty religiously, if you will, and I've been trying really hard to keep my carb intake down to a very minimal level so that I can get in control of my blood sugars. And yesterday it was in the 130s, so today I was expecting maybe high 120s, but I got in there, pricked my finger, and as I tested it against on the meter, flashes up 110, and so I was really excited about that. It's not where I want to be. I want to be down to under 100 on my fasting blood sugar levels, but 110 is definitely better than 150 like it was not too long ago. So I was excited, I was happy, I was elated. So I go to work, and later on in the day I get a phone call from my doctor's office. Yesterday or the day before, I don't remember exactly when. Brain fog. I had some blood work done, and my A1C came back, and it was actually, I forget the numbers, I'm really terrible at numbers, but it was actually back up into the diabetic range, whereas the last time I had taken the blood work, it was in pre-diabetic range. So kind of bummed about that. And then they also told me a bunch of other things about my liver numbers not being right, and they want to do some more tests on me for hepatitis and different things like that, and just stuff like, oh gosh, anytime I talk to a doctor it's bad news, so I don't like to talk to doctors very much. Anyway, so yeah, and then my cholesterol is bad, so they wanted me to double up on my cholesterol medication, and then when I run out, call them and arrange to get more meds sent in, and this, that, and the other thing, and it's just a pain in the butt. But so I felt really discouraged after I got that phone call. Didn't want to really talk to anybody or anything like that. Didn't want to even talk to Stacy about it, but I just felt like I was getting discouraged. I was getting kind of down, and I called her up and I let her know what the situation was. And of course, you know, her immediate response is she believes that I have celiac disease, because when she was she has it, and when she was researching it, a lot of the same symptoms, even the liver functioning and stuff like that, are symptoms of celiac. So her immediate thought was, you got to get tested for that. And I was just overwhelmed at the time, and I'm just listening to her, and she was listening to me, and then she kind of just she just said, she saw that I was discouraged. In other words, my tone of voice on the phone kind of led her to know that I was disappointed and discouraged, and she immediately switched her tactic up, which was, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to him, and I'm going to give him, what she does is she reframes the situation for me, and she does it so well. She'll say, okay, this is what the situation is, and then she'll tell me, anyway, what she'll do is she'll tell me, but look at what you've been doing. Look at the work you've been doing. You're doing the work, you're sticking with your diet, you're walking, you're doing the exercise and stuff like that. And so she'll reframe it by showing me what I am doing right. And that really helped me out. And so, and she's always super encouraging to me and stuff like that. And she said, you know, give them a call and see if they will test you for the, I don't want, what is it called again? See, my brain, folks. What is it with the, yeah, gluten intolerance, celiac disease. So I called them back, which is a big step for me to even do that, is to call them back and request a different type of test, you know. Usually in the past I've been unable to do that type of thing with my anxiety and stuff like that. So that's a win there too. Making progress and growing and changing is what it's all about. And they called me back later, and he went ahead and ordered those tests, even though in the past he's been kind of poo-poo about celiacs. He was poo-poo about celiacs when he agreed to allow Stacy to do the tests or to whatever, and it turns out that she does have celiac. So anyway, it is what it is. It'll be another I need to get off of grains anyway because of my blood sugar and my diabetes, so it is what it is. Anyway, it's that thing though about being sick, you know, and the medical model is so much focused on what is wrong, not on what is strong. And I know there's got to be room for both of that, both of those perspectives. As a peer support specialist, that's what I try to focus on, is what's strong with an individual, not what's wrong with an individual. So, and that's what Stacy did with me, is she focused on what I was doing right. And that motivates me to want to continue to go and continue to keep striving and working. But at the same time, you've got to deal with reality. And I don't want to deal with reality. That's why when I'm not eating right, I hide my glucometer and out of sight, out of mind. And I just am blissfully unaware of it. It's kind of like magical thinking. I no longer have diabetes. I no longer have mental illness. I no longer, you know. So you just got to find that fine line of what motivates you to continue to work. But I don't know, I'd rather know that I've got hepatitis. I don't know how I would have gotten that, but I don't know anything about it, honestly, but I know I've been vaccinated against it. But, you know, I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is it doesn't sound like something fun, you know. And so here we go again. So anyway, it hasn't started raining, so I'm gonna keep rambling. No rain, no pain. So discouragement, is it a bad feeling? It's an unpleasant feeling for sure. It's not something I want to sit around and feel a lot, but I think it's pretty natural to feel that way when your expectations have been dashed, right? Now the silly thing about it is I didn't expect to have a good A1C reading. I didn't expect that, you know, and so I kind of expected that to be higher. I'm just glad it wasn't so high that he had to up my medications. So yeah, so I didn't really expect it to be higher. I mean, I didn't expect it to be anything but higher, but the denial part of it was like I wasn't thinking about that at all. All I was thinking about was how good I'm doing. I'm walking, I'm trying to eat healthier, and I'm walking, I'm trying to eat healthier, and I wasn't thinking it. I did the blood test, but I wasn't even thinking about the results part of it. Maybe that's why that disappointment came in. But what I'm trying to say is it's okay to feel disappointed. We're gonna feel disappointed in life. Now, am I gonna dwell on that disappointment? No. I'm gonna take a look. What I did was I looked up the good levels for A1C. Like I said, I'm terrible with numbers, so I'll have to look it up again, but